Will you look back when you're old and gray and think those dumb kids had a lot to say when we were trying to make this night one you'd remember? I don't care if my wheels don't turn, I don't care if my pipe don't burn, as long as I am flowing through your veins after I'm gone away.
It's Thursday night, and you know what that means. And Happy New Year as well.
I thought I might get to say the catchphrase because it's the first one of the year, but no. If people want to talk about what they did over Christmas and things, we'll splice that about too. But because it's the second Thursday of the month, we've got James Run from Scare Seekers to Scare Seekers Undertow, and I wanted to pick out something that was just generic, I guess. I just thought zombies, so we're going to be talking about zombies a lot. Happy New Year to everyone in the chat. Tell us what you got up to. Tell us how you got rid of your tree, Gareth, as well. I want to hear about that.
What tree?
You got a real tree. A real one.
A pine one.
Yeah.
Piney.
Without further ado, it's James. How you doing, James?
Yeah, not too bad. Hi. Happy New Year, everyone.
Our small branches as well. Check out
Hello.
you've broken that already.
I know.
I only got that a few days ago for New Year's. You've broken it. Did you show everyone? Did you go close to the camera?
It kind of went off already. Happy New Year. There you go.
So the small branches have only drew a photo, not competition, the photo challenge.
Yes.
I've seen that.
I've already had a few entrants, so thank you very much to Coast to Cast UK.
So there is going to be a quiz later on, zombie related, but I've got a lot of research I did about zombies in general. But what I was going to ask James to begin with is, what to you constitutes as a zombie?
I would say probably a corpse that's undead, I guess, because it's weird kind of with what undead constitutes, because like technically vampires and things are undead as well. So I'd probably say it's kind of like a corpse that is kind of risen back from the dead, but then also they kind of like eat brain zombies, don't they? Kind of like pass on bites to send it round. It can happen from viruses. So anything
That's what
from
I was
that.
going to ask.
Yeah.
Is a zombie something that was dead and came back? Because that's what it started out as with. I've not actually got any photos, but like early zombie films. And the earliest zombie film that was feature length is a film called White Zombie, by the way. I looked that up. But I was going to say, because in like Dawn of the Dead, they're coming back from the dead, but in something like Resident Evil, it's a virus that's killing them, and then they're coming back. Does that constitute being the same as them just being dead to begin with, and then they're a zombie?
Maybe they're just like zombie cousins or something. Like depends how you become a zombie. Depends on
like
on that.
28 days later as well. I'm thinking as well that kind of.
Also in the chat, which one do you prefer? Because I actually think 28 Weeks Later is a better film, but no one agrees with me because it's a sequel. That's another one where I think the sequel's better than the first film. Have you seen 28 Days Later, James?
No.
No. Have you seen many zombie films?
Not really. This is the perfect episode for me. I've seen like little bits here and there, but not really like any fully. I think the most in films I've seen is the Zombieland films, which I think I went to go and see because some friends were going to go and see the sequel for it. So I watched the first one there. Really funny films, and again goes into surprisingly about a good amount of like horror stuff with zombies as well, which is really good. So yeah.
Just while we're on Zombieland quickly, when I first watched it, I was under the impression the film would take place in a theme park and it would be about how they had this stronghold in a theme park. And it's just a little bit in the film.
Yeah.
But also the younger sister, there's two girls in that out of the main four characters, and the younger sister is actually in the Santa Claus 3. So if anyone watches bad Tim Allen films, I know who I'm talking about.
Cool.
So the scenes were good at the theme park. Yeah, the shot tower scene was good. What did you think about that, James?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. Also, it was quite a while since I watched them. So, but you mean like the scene at the end, like with the big stronghold that they have?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was pretty good, and it's because it's like everyone's kind of like living in a little kind of paradise there, aren't they? Not realizing like everything that's going on around them outside, which is really funny.
I'm going to ask you because when I first met you, you were quite a big fan of Zombieland.
Zombieland,
So I don't know if you want to talk about that before we move on.
My favourite bit was when he got sprayed with perfume in if it's the one that I think it is.
It's the one with Woody Harrelson.
In the fairground. No, the
Yeah,
fairground.
and near
they
the
did it at
end.
Six Flags, didn't they? Did they do it at Six
Yeah, they did it at
Flags?
Six
filmed it at
Flags,
Six
New
Flags.
Orleans, because of Hurricane Katrina.
Yeah.
I played a video game the other day, and it was set in New Orleans, and out of nowhere, it suddenly. This isn't related to zombies, but out of nowhere, it suddenly the story went. This was all went away because Hurricane Katrina happened. It was like, what the hell? I didn't expect them to bring that out.
I went through
Deadly Premonition 2, if anyone played it.
I went through a phase after watching it, Zombieland, where he always wanted to get a Twinkie cup when he found the Twinkie car. He always wanted Twinkies. And then from then on, I was like, I really want to try a Twinkie.
Yeah, Bill
and
Murray
then I
was
tried a
doing
Twinkie, and I was like, from then on, I want to eat loads of Twinkies.
What is that from?
And then Mike got me a load for Christmas.
What is that? What's it triggered?
Triggered.
I don't know. What is that?
I
A
can't.
type of zombie, maybe?
But the bit with Bill, the bit with Bill Murray in.
Or he's actually playing himself.
That was.
Oh, yeah.
That was quite funny.
Yeah.
But I do remember the guy with the cow. I mean, I can't remember the names now because it's been that long since I've seen it. But the guy with the cowboy hat, when he got sprayed with perfume, the look on his face, he was like, "It's about to bop you one at any minute." But yeah.
So I was going to get into. I might as well do it now because Ben's brought up Shaun of the Dead. I was going to get into zombie films that are more comedy than horror.
Evil Dead.
Evil Dead could be there as well. That's
Evil Dead's
other
one of
things.
them.
But like, is Beetlejuice a zombie?
I guess, or is he more just kind of like a weird supernatural creature in a way? Because in a way, kind of like the way he's summoned as well by saying his name 3 times, it's almost like he's a creature from the underworld, but he is also kind of a corpse as well. So, and also I think it's also the fact that with zombies that they're kind of brain dead, which means they don't really have much cognition or anything. While with someone like Beetlejuice, he's clearly he can talk and stuff and is actually functional in a way. So maybe that's the difference. Possibly.
Are you laughing at the comment?
I'm laughing because of Beetlejuice, because when he does come out, he does actually come out of a grave in the sort of train set. But also, I remember having a Beetlejuice where it actually come out of a grave as well as a toy set. You had like a little purple grave, and it'd just pop out, and you'd like change him to like being a mini version of Beetlejuice as well. Like that. That's how I remember things like that. I don't remember the actual film, but I remember like getting the toys. So I even had the one where it was the carousel one, which I found out was very rare. But yeah.
So are there any? I'm just gonna because I want to grasp onto stuff while it's being said. But when James said they're brain dead, but then you watch something like The Walking Dead, and I think I've seen it in a couple of other things where the new thing is the zombies are intelligent to a degree that if you cut open a zombie and wipe it all over you, they can't smell you and they don't go after you.
I haven't watched The Walking Dead.
I've always wondered why, and the same thing with vampires, really, but with zombies, why don't they just eat other zombies?
That's what I always question.
Because they didn't think about it, and that's why they're looking for the brains so they can think better. Not a clue.
I like the fact that
so then we go on Wizard of Oz.
I think he means tripid. He might mean tripid still, but I think he means tripid. But what I like about it, he's explained what it's a mix of. And I thought spirit animals had to be real animals. But spirit creature, I guess. But I like the last bit, arguably the strongest non-god creature. That's my spirit
Known
animal.
to lore of man.
I've not seen Are We the Dead yet. I want to see it. The thing that put me off was it's
Batista.
over 2 hours. It's over 2 hours long, and at that point, I don't watch films at that point. Because if you can't make it under 2 hours, make 2 films.
Film. I got sure it was a zombie, but great film. He is quite animated, isn't he? The actor on Beetlejuice.
I think it's Michael Keaton, isn't it?
Yeah. He's quite animated, and he is quite sway as well, a bit like a zombie. But at the same time,
he doesn't look like Michael Keaton, though. That's what I like about it. I mean, I know it's Michael Keaton.
He's a bit
but to look at him, he doesn't look like Michael Keaton when he's. Because when you see, Danny DeVito is Penguin, spoiler alert, in Batman Returns, but you can kind of see it. Whereas I watch Beetlejuice and I tried to see Michael Keaton's face, and you can't see his face. It doesn't look like Michael Keaton. I've never seen Michael Keaton act like that before in any other film.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of any other zombie films, but
I've
got some here. I'm completely stumped if you mention them. I'm like,
since we're going through like the realm of funny ones,
I'm feeling the
I don't think James would have seen it, although you can probably get hold of it. It's a cheap film. and they've made a sequel since. It's a low budget film called Zombie, and it's about a zombie outbreak at a zoo. And I was like, that's so good.
Oh my gosh, I remember.
I've always said they should make a scare maze about that because people are scared of different animals.
Yeah.
And you could have like, that'd be really cool. But that was kind of more comedy. I was hoping it'd be a serious film, and there was a bit where a koala got stuck in a room with a 5-year-old, and then the 5-year-old just totally murders it. Like the door opens afterwards, and she's managed to murder this zombie koala.
What's the one we did watch one ages ago, and it was to do with like, was it sheep?
Oh, Black Sheep.
Yes, that was.
That was
That was a bit like
that
an
freaked you
outbreak.
out though because
That
you
did
don't
freak
like
me
sheep.
out because I couldn't look at sheep the same.
I don't know. Did they release that film in Wales? I'm sure Gareth and Andy will tell me.
But yeah, that's quite an interesting one. But it's proper like 80s sort of gore in a way as well. So it was quite good.
So
Yeah, I like that sort of stuff.
I'm not expecting him to have seen it, but have you seen Shaun of the Dead?
I've seen a good amount of it because every time it came on the TV, it was always at the point where they were throwing the records in the garden. For some reason, I always came on to that point, so I've seen it from there.
It's
and
like the
in
record in the
bits.
middle of the face.
Yeah. So but again, that was years ago. But I remember like bits and pieces of it. But yeah, very. I think out of those, like the Cornetto trilogy ones, I've seen Paul the most. But yeah, I've seen like maybe like 2/3 of Shaun of the Dead.
Paul's not in the Cornetto trilogy.
Oh, so is it? Oh, is it like a separate one to it, just with those with Nick Frost and?
Yeah, the Cornetto trilogy was Shaun of the Dead, and then Hot Fuzz, and then World's End.
Yeah,
Right.
World's End.
Yeah.
They're all really
Paul
good
is a good
ones,
film.
them ones,
Mm.
yeah. Paul was all right.
But Shaun of the Dead, I don't know because you haven't seen. Have you seen any of the Dawn of the Dead films?
No.
Have you seen Day of the Dead?
No.
That's brilliant because there's one zombie who wants to get revenge on humans, and it just doesn't make sense because he's meant to be a zombie. But I want to talk about Shaun of the Dead. What did you want to talk about it first?
Speaking of Shaun of the Dead, did anyone want to get the whole of the soundtrack? Because I ended up getting the soundtrack at one point as well. It's just obviously you got Queen in it as well.
No, I was going to say about Shaun of the Dead. I like it now. When it first came out, especially early on in the film, a lot. Part of the jokes that are said out loud seem very forced in that film. Like I like there's a scene at the start where he's walking and doing his mundane life, and then later on when the zombie outbreaks happen, he doesn't know about it. He's doing the same thing again and walking in the same places, the same shop, but he can't notice the zombies about.
Yeah.
And he slips on the blood on the floor when he buys the ice cream. And I think that's really. You see the sprinter, the runner, the jogger, whatever. He's running past him, but this time he's running away from a zombie.
Yeah.
And I thought that was good, but I thought a lot of the jokes that they said out loud in that first bit in the house were quite forced. I don't know what you thought.
No, I thought that was quite good, that scene.
What about the
If
humour?
you hear a bit of rumbling, that's our piggies doing zoomies just at the minute. When you're on about
They're
running,
going to
they're
be
running.
zombies. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to come and get them in a minute because there may be an outbreak of pigs.
That'll be all right. So, is that what you want to say about Shaun of the Dead?
Shaun of the Dead, I really like the soundtrack. I really like the fact that they went through all that
I didn't like the actual
aspects
film.
of. This is the thing I have, but I like through all the aspects where they go through every single possible outcome you could think of. I can't explain it, and then just try and flip it into being funny. But then it was like, and we're all going to go to the pub, and we're all going to have a pint, and hope this whole thing blows over. That was
Very
the main
British.
focus. Like you usually do, wouldn't you? You go to the pub and hope it blows over, sort of thing. And yeah, it's quite good.
Do you think the film could have still worked without zombies in it? Like most of the stuff they did could have.
Yeah, but then you would have had like World's End, wouldn't you? And like aliens.
And we've seen where they filmed that.
Yeah, Letchworth. But yeah, be quite good. Anything else?
Yeah, I've got lots of stuff
Go on
here.
then.
I don't know
You've
if
got
we
a
want to
big
get
list.
onto
I'm
the.
looking at this huge
Do we
list
want to
on
get
my
onto the
phone.
serious stuff, or have you got more experience with zombies in video games, James?
Not really in video games. I'm a massive wimp with horror games in general. I guess. Oh yeah, there was Plants vs Zombies, which I've played the demo of. I played the free demo of that. So that's like the most, just to make sure that I'm not giving them any money. So yeah, so I've seen that, which is kind of weird how that works, because if they bite the plants, does that make the plant zombies at that point? Or like, do we get plant zombies?
I don't know if the plants are like zombies anyway, because
Yeah.
they work on a very. It sounds weird. They're kind of almost a machine themselves. Like when people become a zombie, they become like one track mind. They just want to eat and stuff. And plants are very similar.
Like a hive mind in a way.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I did think, like, is it a bit like hallucinogenic of some sort with eating the plants? Because I always think of like Zootopia with the stuff that they had to get, and it made the animals go wild. And I thought, is it a bit like that with
Oh,
plants
like catnip.
versus zombies after a while? Yeah, well, not catnip, but yeah, that purple stuff that they had. But yeah, maybe something like that. But...
Dead Island was a good zombie game. I used to play it online a lot with other people.
Which one was the one in the mall? Is that the Dead Island?
That was Dead Rising.
Dead Rising. I like
that was good,
one.
but it was just such a blatant copy of Dawn of the Dead.
It was.
You played Dead Rising then? Tell us about Dead Rising.
No, I just remember watching you play it.
Would you say the zombies in Resident Evil are is that a zombie when it's got a virus?
I think, yeah. I think it is. I think genetically mutated would be the
way to draw the line on that.
Yeah, the way forward. But everyone each to their own, isn't it? But like obviously people are doing tests and using like test subjects, and then obviously that's how it brings out a virus and an outbreak of things. And yeah.
Rachel's playing Far Cry 6 on Xbox. That surprised me. I didn't know she didn't strike me as the kind of person that plays video games. So what
Does that
about
have any zombies then?
I don't know. I assume it probably has a zombie. Isn't it set in like South America in some country where the government's gone down?
I thought it was like AI or something.
Not a clue.
I don't know why. I thought Far Cry was AI.
So what do you think about zombies in scare attractions?
To be honest, they're usually not the ones that scare me too much. I usually find the scarier characters are normally the ones that look less human. And so like anything in a mask or whatever, it's why the skin snatchers from Multiple Mind Tours really unnerved me quite a bit, because it gives like a bit of it's a weird uncanny kind of thing with that, because it's like it's human face but not human face in a way. But with zombies, they're usually very humanoid, which means they don't usually scare me or creep me out too much. I only went in really one, well, there's technically two mazes I've been through. There was Project 42, which I did, which I think was just quite a fun maze, to be honest. There was one bit at the end where there was like a massive strobe finale where there were like zombies in front of you, which is a bit creepy. But apart from that, it was just more of a fun maze in a way rather than anything genuinely terrifying. And the other ones at Burton Screamfest, they have Hillbilly Joe's Zombie Zoom, which is like the kids one, which again kind of like it's more of like a light-hearted thing. But because you were mentioning about the like a zoo theme maze, that made me think of Hillbilly Joe's. It doesn't really have too many animals in there. It has like a rat character, I think. Yeah, and the hot dog as well.
Yeah, someone said there was a hot dog, and I was like,
I remember the lobster was around the corner in front of us and then ran away. And I remember I turned to Ben, who was with us, and went, "Is that a lobster?"
Yeah, I thought you said that. Yeah.
But the question is that a zombie in a lobster costume, or is that a lobster zombie?
I would assume it's a zombie in a lobster costume.
I was going to say lob zombie, and then I was like, wait.
A lombi. It could be a lombi.
Lobster zombie, lob zombie, rob zombie. That's where my train of thought was going before anyone.
Do zombies need to breathe?
I assume not. I mean, again, like with other undead characters, like do vampires breathe? Or like do they? That's the thing.
But you have to destroy the head and the brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In order to like stop it doing anything altogether.
If you destroy the lungs, it's fine.
But then I always think with like Evil Dead, if we're going on to Evil Dead as well, like he ended up getting stuff and then he chopped his hand off, sort of thing, and then his hand then still kept moving.
Yeah, I think that's like a thing situation. Yeah, okay. Is Thing from the Addams Family a zombie?
If we're going to go on to this topic, does anyone else think that?
Not a clue.
Straight in the head. See, Rachel knows. Straight in the head. Destroy the head and the brain.
I like the way that we've got rules that are like. I suppose it's like a silver bullet for a wolf, but
well, it's the same when you're playing
Resident
Evil.
What game are you playing, Small Branches? Resident Evil was. I wouldn't say Resident Evil Zombies though. That was more of a hive mind. Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, oh, now we're doing conspiracy. You never know, but Kobe could
Can
be
you
a
get the video
zombie
taken
maker.
down?
Do you know what I thought?
The
I
old vid.
genuinely thought when it started, I thought, is it something like that? And the weirdest thing is, we actually watched. It was The Tribe. If anyone remembers
We watched the first 4 series of The Tribe.
and that actually said that there was a virus that
There was
went
a
round
virus
and
that
killed
made
all the
people
adults.
age and killed all the adults. And I thought it was
And it
going
was
to
like,
finish because it was set in New
Ooh,
Zealand.
and we're in the middle of lockdown.
It was set in New Zealand, and I thought, the ending's going to be that some adults are going to come and
So I
find
love
them,
watching it.
and the rest of the world isn't affected at all. But they never did that. I was like, that would have been such a cool ending.
Hmm.
It's interesting how we talked about that all the way from zombies here, but yeah. Left 4 Dead. Oh my gosh!
I was never a fan of I was never really Xbox.
So
That was
you never
exclusive.
Xbox?
Well, I was till I got like the 3rd red ring on a 3rd console, and then I just went to Sony.
I had Xbox when I first moved out, so yeah.
For Resident Evil, we can talk about Resident. Well, how much can I talk about Resident Evil? Because you and
Well,
James don't know about it.
The weirdest thing is you're on about aiming for like, obviously, we were talking about the head and the brain, like get rid of it and then it stops the zombies. But you actually go for the knees when it's Resident Evil, isn't it? You do the knees.
Well,
that's
to save ammo. I go for the
Yeah.
knees, they go down, and I just knife them, so I don't use any ammo.
Mm-hmm.
That's not.
Oh, I thought it's because their brains and their knees. Yeah, that would make a lot of
Say
sense.
that. Have you? You probably haven't played it, James. Dead Space.
Oh yeah, Dead Space.
That flips on its head.
Oh.
You have to shoot the limbs,
Oh.
kill them, and that's quite interesting.
Mm.
Because you have like a gun that fires like a straight line of laser, and you have to take their limbs off to kill them, and it's kind of flipped on its head because the head and the body don't really get affected to shoot them.
I think you should come around and have a go at a zombie game, James, at one point, and then
Yeah. There's so many things that I need to try.
we'll do it. We'll do a vlog of it of like reactions.
Well, I feel like-
even I'll have a go as well.
I feel like everything
Yeah.
goes to
Because I'm
zombies
so used to
eventually,
watching
though.
Mike play them, and then I'm too much of a
Everything
wuss
goes to
myself.
zombies eventually. Like Call of Duty does it. In Halo, when the flood came, because I remember when Halo first came out, the first one, and I got to a point, I was like,
Halo.
"This is an interesting first-person shooter. There's no like zombies or anything." And then suddenly the flood come in, and they're like zombies. It's like, oh, it's happened again.
I always think of God of War, where you had the Horde version of it, and you'd had all these like little tickers and things that went off, and you can hear the noises before they even approach you. And it kind of reminded me of a character from Resident Evil that does it, like the clickers. Was that Resident Evil, or was that?
That was The Last of Us.
Last of Us.
Yeah.
That kind of reminded me of that a little bit. It's like as they're coming towards you, and you're like, "Oh, don't move."
So, what was your your first? Do you remember the first time you were exposed to zombies?
Evil Dead.
Was that Evil Dead? Was it? It wasn't
Yeah.
anything like Child's Program or anything like that.
No, there was another film, and I think it was called Brain Dead or something. Although I could have got it wrong, but it's like a really old, not really old, but more like early 80s sort of film, where there was like an undead baby. But basically, it was a mouse that bit someone on the ankle, and then the virus just spread, and everyone's sort of acting all like undead, sort of zombified. And then all I remember was basically, her baby turned into one, and then they decided to put it in a blender, and that's kind of all I remember of this one film. But straight after that, we then watched Evil Dead. And Evil Dead just stuck with me because I was just glued to it all the time, and I thought it was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So,
It's a question for everyone at home and you and James. You might not have seen the film, but thinking about what constitutes as a zombie coming back from the dead.
yeah, sorry.
The dead, not so much dead, but inanimate, is the woman in Mannequin a zombie? You've not seen Mannequin?
No.
It's about a guy who meets a mannequin and she comes to life, but she was a mannequin, and then she becomes a real person.
I guess that's more like possession, maybe. I guess. Like, is there a difference between possession and zombies?
See, I thought that because if I go on to Evil Dead, he, obviously Bruce, reads the Necronomicon.
Bruce, your mate Bruce. Yeah.
I'm saying my main man Bruce because it's groovy, yeah. But yeah, basically, I always think he actually read the Necronomicon. So obviously, it wasn't a virus that went round or anything like that. It was more, obviously, like spiritual. So bringing the dead back, basically, the Book of the Dead.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so it's like I think that would be possession, but not
Mm.
like possessed back.
Do you remember the name
It's
of the?
more-
I remember the name of the film that Gareth sang in the chat.
Mm.
Roddy Piper, and he had the sunglasses. He could see. They weren't zombies; they were aliens.
Yes,
Do you know what it was called?
yes, but I no. I remember you showing me it, and I was
We
like,
watched it,
"Oh."
and I remember first time I ever watched it around a friend's house, and his mum was like,
Yeah,
"Oh, that's a good film. Watch out when you watch it, though, because it's scary, right?"
yeah.
And it wasn't. And we're waiting for the whole film, so it's not zombies though, because they're aliens, but they look like zombies. The premise of that film, for anyone who's not seen it, he finds these shades. When you wear them, you can see all the propaganda that
Like writing
this
on
alien
the-
race, they're actually higher up than humans,
Mm.
and you can see all the aliens. But then, when they knew that he could see them, they'd have these watches on, and
They'd have like signs and things on the billboards.
Yeah, it
but
was like
they were
propaganda.
differently. It wasn't like 3D glasses as such, like the red and the blue by lenses, but it's just normal shades. But it had come up with like different words and everything, saying you are all the same, and like quite negative sort of things, wasn't it? Like sure everyone's the same and
it was a decent film. But
you are in order, sort of thing. And but yeah, that's quite a good one.
so, what do you think about zombies and scare attractions? Is it good? Is it overdone? I think clowns are overdone.
I personally think it is, because every time I have someone running up to me yelling, I just think I'm at a club with a load of drunkards. If I'm quite honest,
That's just
and
any
to be
maze,
honest,
though,
that's
isn't it?
how I feel like it is. It's like, oh, your village drunkard, as they walk past. So it doesn't really do much for me in terms of scaredness. I don't really get scared. Unless they've like James is like, unless like the features have changed and stuff like that, and it doesn't look near enough human, then I'll be like, "Whoa," because even the thing, it sounds ridiculous, but obviously it's more like lore. But like Pan's Labyrinth, that thing with the eyes on the hands,
Yeah.
something like that.
That's the only bit anyone
that
remembers
got
about that
me,
film.
and that was one of them was actually in, was it Subspecies? One of them was
Similar
in
to
there.
that. And it wasn't-
Yeah.
In the dark.
They had some aliens that looked similar to it with like
Mm.
big teeth and like bits of flesh on them. And so I only saw them once as well, like in one of my
Yeah.
runs. But yeah, no, I didn't really see them much.
No, I thought that I saw them like 1 year, and then
Mm.
that was it. It closed by then. So
Yeah.
I thought that was really good, because that one actually got me. There was one in the corner, and next it just went, and I thought, ooh, that actually made me drop to the floor slightly.
Have I don't know, because you've not seen many
He's quite a tall
zombie
person.
films, James. But
No.
would you say zombies are better now than they were when it was first a big thing many decades ago?
I'd probably say that they've
Are
expanded.
they still
in a way.
scary? Can you have a good zombie film now, or is it kind of cliche almost to the point where it's not serious?
I'd probably say that it's a little bit less scary again, with that whole thing of kind of, you can tell the humor, and also the fact that they're not really too like too vicious in a way. The only ones that kind of creep me out in a way are the ones from The Last of Us, which also I haven't played, but I've seen them. I think it's just because, again, they look less human, and the whole kind of like, because they're like kind of like fungus things growing from them, aren't they? And it makes it look like really like uncanny in a way, like, because you can see bits of human in them, but then also this kind of the fungus kind of growing out of them. And because a bit of a sort of a detour is that I remember watching I think it was like a documentary thing on YouTube or something, where it showed about this fungal spore that could like infect ants, and it essentially kind of makes one of them into a zombie ant. And the ant like slowly works its way around the colony, and then eventually a little spore like goes out of its brain, and you actually saw that happen, and then it kind of spores off again and then infects the other ones. And I found it reminded me of The Last of Us, because it's like really like you have like a zombie, it kind of takes control of the ant's brain, I think, and then makes it kind of spread. It's really creepy.
There was one of a fish that I found out about.
Mm.
It was really random on Netflix called like Child Brain, but Brainchild, sorry, not from Child Brain, Brainchild, and talks about like the different like sea creatures of the deep. And there's one where actually hooks onto the tongue of a fish,
Yeah.
and then actually like eventually eats that fish, but it lives on the tongue. And I'm like, oh, it's an underwater zombie, and that's what I thought in my head as well.
To that where they make the fish act in a way where it'll get eaten, so then it passes into a bird. And isn't there one like that?
Maybe, yeah. I can't remember, but there's a few like in nature that's quite similar to it, in a way.
Would you say
I find it so fascinating.
zombies were better when they were first, like decades ago, than they are now? Do you think it's too much the same?
I feel like there was a phase in films where it was really silent, and then next minute you'd get like a really like sort of violin going off and loves with the heads and everything. So sorry, I'm embarrassing myself, but you know they're proper like and going for it, and they've got like the proper like, I can explain it, extruded sort of masks and things like that, where the features do look distorted. But at the same time, they didn't look quite human. So it worked. And even then, back in the day, it wasn't like they just had a set of contact lenses. They'd literally have a full-on mask that looked totally different to the actual person. Nowadays, the makeup, they just have like contact lenses in and their eyes bloodshot. And it just looks like a normal person that's had very lack of sleep. And I just think it doesn't really affect it. But then they went through a phase where there was either loads of music and zombies running after, but then there was other films where it was like it's going to be dead quiet, and then they're going to really emphasize the as they go towards you, and it's like, oh, it's all different, and I quite enjoyed the differences of it, but I don't think it's any better personally. I think it made me more jump when I was younger, but I think that's because I didn't have that much experience of it. But maybe now I'm a bit older, it's not really like a, oh my gosh factor. It's a, oh, okay, yeah. Like I said, get a drunkard. But yeah, it's, yeah.
Do you think you can still make a good zombie film now? Has anyone seen Train to Busan? I think that's how you pronounce it.
Train to Busan?
Yeah, Busan. It's a Japanese film. It's a zombie film. I've not seen it, but it's fairly recent.
No, I've not actually seen it. I'd probably know it, but no.
So would you say it's possible to make a good zombie film now? Or when you see a zombie film now, like a new one?
I think if you try and do a zombie film that did the effects like it did back in the 80s, yes.
Would it work? Would those effects work?
Yes.
That's why they change it, because people aren't scared of the same things.
No.
Also, I want to ask, just answering Gareth what he's put there. Halloween's an alright film, but watch Halloween 3 because it's brilliant. It'll blow your expectations out of the water. Watch Halloween 3. It's probably on Netflix. You've seen Halloween 3?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, hang on. B-movie. What, the actual B-movie with Seinfeld, or B-movies in general?
That's not a zombie film. There's nearly an apocalypse at the end of it, but
the end of the world as we know.
Yeah, it's The Witch, or something of The Witch, but it's really cool because Mike Myers isn't in it.
Is the witch. Which 3 is the witch one?
Yeah, I think it was brilliant. It's one with I don't want to get into it. It's not about zombies.
Oh, okay, we'll do that one another day.
Mike Myers is a Mariah Carey mask. That's it. Mike Myers mask. That's like Mariah Carey, I think.
Yeah.
What do you think about 1950s B movie? I don't know what he's on about now.
I don't know either.
But for everyone else, they can get confused as well. But
if you're thinking, clickers, yes. I think we're a bit behind on that one.
Are we talking about the ones from The Last of Us, or is that a film?
No, that's the thing that I was on about with the game earlier, where you hear that clicking noise. Yeah. The clickers. I used to call them the tickers because they look like ticks.
The clickers are good, yeah. I don't know what it was. They were good at the time. Obviously, once you learn how to play that game, the game kind of operates in a certain way. So once you've played it on It's hard. You can play the game on easy, and once you know where everything is, you can do it on expert, and you know what's coming. It's a really weird game in that
But you
sense. But I
sold
like
James
it.
to play it.
Of course.
I'd happily do it, and me and you'd be like, don't know what we're doing.
I think more, and the small branch will agree if they've played Last of Us, which I think they have.
I think we should do that.
Yeah, sounds fun. Great content.
About The Last of Us, it was more the fact that the start is very depressing. Something I'm not going to spoil it for anyone, but it's something that happens near the start of the game that's very depressing, and you just it's just like I didn't expect that. I came here to kill zombies. What's going on? It's good. It's a good. I've not watched the series because we don't have Sky, and the Blu-ray's like £50, and it's not worth it.
It's when you're talking about zombies as well. I'm thinking, do they actually? I don't think there is actually an anime that's zombies, is there? Small branches might know. You'll have to let me know.
Yeah, there's anime that are zombies. There probably is.
I don't think there's an anime of zombies.
I think
There's always something to do with a good fighting evil, or Helsing is
Depends
obviously a vampire.
what you think of as anime.
Yeah.
Resident Evil's got about 3 or 4 CGI films that are made in Japan.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like,
No, there are some zombie ones out there.
I'm curious, that's all. Yeah.
But having said that, do you think the foreign films do it better? But I don't know how many foreign zombie films you've
I
seen.
would happily say, in terms of not just zombie, but horror films in a different language, yes.
We'll have to watch Rec this
I
weekend.
can relate, because I remember Joe from Scare Seekers said that at one point, didn't he?
Yeah. I think he said it about. He went to go and do Halloween Horror Nights in Japan, I think, and they had one of like the Japanese horror films or something that really scared him quite a bit. So.
Mine was the is it The Grudge? I think was his, but mine was The Ring. I had no idea what was going off, and the way that they moved, it just freaked me out. I was just completely freaked out.
Just while
maybe that's a sort of.
While Trey's here quickly before he goes, because he lives in the country. Do you know any films about that happen in the middle of nowhere? Horror films to spook him out quickly while he's here. No.
Off the top of your
Jeepers
head,
Creepers, something like that.
Which one really?
I was asking you.
Trey? Oh, me.
I was asking you, so then he'd go, "Oh, I live in the middle of nowhere. That's going to freak me out now." But no, don't worry.
To be honest, it doesn't really freak me out. Like, I don't know. It doesn't really frighten me. There's not a lot that frightens me, to be fair.
In the tall grass, yeah. Also, Fear Farm's a good one if you ever want to watch that. But have you seen Rec, James? You've probably heard of it. No?
No, I don't think so.
I think we should do a spooky watch along at one point as well.
Yeah, we'll do a watch along at one point. Yeah.
Spooky watch along.
Just need to catch up on everything, which I have. It's going to take a while.
We'll have to maybe watch the first Rec this weekend. Rec 1 and 2 are brilliant. They made an American version of it, and it wasn't as good. But Rec 1 and 2 are brilliant. But I think it depends. I think there's some things where I don't know if it's out. I don't know if it's out of respect or. I feel like sometimes people just go, "Oh, it's a Japanese horror film. It's bloody brilliant," or "Oh, it's a Japanese anime," which most of them are. I know. Oh, it's brilliant, and it's kind of like, let's watch it first. I think sometimes people go, yeah, they'll think of one or two things like the Grudge and The Ring, the original ones, and they'll go, "Oh, the Japanese," and they are good. But then someone else will go, "I've got this Japanese horror film," and just by saying that, people will turn around and go, "Oh, that's going to be scary." And sometimes they're not all as good.
I just like the timing of things. I don't know if it's just the way that the culture is and stuff, but I do like my anime. So, yeah.
Demon Slayer.
Demon Slayer is a good one on Netflix at the minute, and I really like it. I'd happily watch that again and again.
I'm going to ask James a question he might not have an answer to. What do you think about the commentary on corporate greed and materialism from either Dawn of the Dead or Dead Rising, with it taking place in a shopping mall, and you've got all these zombies, and there's this I don't know if juxtaposition is the right word, but it's almost like a metaphor for people just being like zombie-like and going to the shops to buy these things.
We started talking about corporate greed. I was like, what?
Okay, what was the actual question again? You just...
The metaphor for it, because Dead Rising did it as well.
What?
But Dawn of the Dead, the 2004 one, they were stuck in a shopping mall.
Yes.
You've got all these zombies outside clamoring to get in.
Yes.
And there's very much like
Shop
comparisons to like Black Friday.
Like yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I think that's an interesting way, and it also does something more interesting with zombies in a way, like you know, because zombies have been done so much, giving them like more of an interesting thing, like either like an interesting story or an interesting thing with the zombies. I think that actually makes it a lot more interesting. I guess, and more relevant,
It
probably.
reminds me of The Mist. Stephen King, The Mist, weren't they in a shop?
Yeah, but not the same thing.
Not the same thing.
Dawn of the Dead, there's
why.
literally thousands of zombies outside the shopping mall, and they've locked themselves in it.
Yeah,
The Mist was just them stuck in a convenience store.
yeah. Yeah, okay. I'm thinking of a different film, I think.
But were they zombies in Black Friday?
No, I'm thinking of Bruce Campbell with the shop.
Black Friday. Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. The Mist is a different thing. No, Black Friday's not Stephen King. Jesus.
No, I'm just thinking like no, Black Friday, no, not Stephen King. But I always think the same one. I'm thinking there's films that are quite similar where
No, The Mist is very different. If you watch The Mist, it's very different.
Convenient.
We'll watch The Mist at some point. It's very different.
Yeah.
What did you think of Black
Sorry.
Friday? I was going to ask you about Black
My
Friday.
thinking's just everywhere.
Are they zombies in Black Friday?
The
Stand is good.
Sorry.
No, that's not the film you're thinking of.
No,
You just
I
mentioned
just
Stephen
I
King.
don't know. I've just seen that many films now that they
The
just
Stand
all
is the
merge
one
into
that's very similar to I listened to the audiobook during COVID, and it was very similar to what was going on with COVID, so it's quite interesting.
Oh, Zom 101, which is a zombie one. Oh, that's good to know. Small Branches. I might have a look at that.
And Silent
know,
Hill,
it's on
which is
Netflix
not a
now.
silent film. Silent Hill film isn't very good if you like the games. I'm going to put that out there now, but it's all right. There's a lot of stuff in it. Sean Bean's in it, so... But what do you think about Black Friday? I was asking you anyway.
I like Black Friday.
Is that it?
I do like it. I can't explain it, and it reminds me of a film. There was like a game that Markiplier did as well, where he had to be the main character, like looking after people in the shop and stuff. And
but that
something
wasn't
dark
even a
was coming
zombie
towards you.
apocalypse. That was
No, but it was still. It's quite good. I just find it funny that I'm like, how convenient! You're in a convenience store and you can survive on all the supplies, providing you can barricade everything in. That's your challenge. I just think it's brilliant.
Oh,
It's the best place to do it. If you had a zombie apocalypse, where would be the best place to go? I think it definitely is one of them, like without a doubt. But
I've got some more light-hearted zombie films. If anyone wants to touch on them. Corpse Bride.
That is one I have seen.
Yay!
We got one.
Have you got?
Yeah,
any
yeah. Because I guess
how
that
they
is
do
zombies. Yeah, I mean it's because it's all kind of started by him putting doing the vows and putting the ring on the finger. So again, that's more kind of like, I mean, it is a zombie, but it's kind of like you have to do a ritual to bring that zombie back to life rather than it.
What about when
being
they all
like-
came up from the? I don't know if you say it's hell, but the afterlife, because they all came through at one point.
Yeah.
The
didn't
underworld.
Yeah, they do. You had to take the villain down with them. Spoiler alert for Corpse Bride, but yeah, and also the fact that at the end the villain becomes a zombie instantly when he takes the
He
he
doesn't
gets
die,
poisoned,
but-
doesn't he? Yeah, because you would have thought he would have just died, but no, he actually becomes a zombie, then gets taken. So I guess that's because all the other ones were still there at that point, or maybe the portal to the underworld was open. But again, that's kind of stuff to do with the underworld. But I guess they are all zombies, aren't they? I guess. Possibly.
Is it a zombie if there's no flesh on them?
Yeah, because that would be because there's skeletons in it, isn't there?
Yeah.
So I guess they'd be skeletons, not zombies. Huh. Yeah. Interesting
So does
question.
that mean the skeletons are possessed?
Yeah. Yeah, because I guess they don't have brains, do they? So yeah, or any flesh. So yeah, I guess. I guess they might be possessed. Getting
Yeah,
very,
they're
very
possessed.
philosophical with this.
No. I thought that. We're just like deep in thought. It's like,
Yeah.
but yeah, that'd be quite good. You're right.
Just the colour coming off that guinea pig. It's like she's got white.
Yeah, she's got white.
It's weird.
Just checking the
All right,
guinea pigs alive.
Paranorman.
The
Paranorman,
guinea
have you
pig
seen
might be
that?
a zombie.
I've seen like bits and pieces.
recommend that.
I think
That's
from
really
like
good
some
film.
reactions. Yeah. It looks good. Yeah. But yeah, I've seen like from reactions and stuff.
What do you think of Paranorman as a zombie film?
I quite like Paranorman.
Is it better than Corpse Bride?
Um,
Yes.
no, it's a bit on
It's because
par,
Corpse Bride was like the
almost.
first Tim Burton stop motion after Night Before Christmas. So when it came out, it's
Mike,
like, oh, is that it?
you're on it for stop motion now, aren't you? You like your stop motion.
There's a film where a girl dates a boy called Warm Bodies, and the boy's a zombie.
What a thing to comment.
Okay.
I've not heard that one either.
There's another one called Life After Beth, and she's a zombie. There's Pride and Prejudice with zombies. How do you feel about ones where they just add zombies into a story that already exists?
It's like Sharknado. It's like, just why? Yeah, there was one where it was like, I think my brother used to like it, which was like it had like a zombie dinosaur in it or something. I can't remember what it was now, but that was a weird one. Like just these weird, like kind of lower budget, crazy films. But yeah, like Pride and Prejudice with zombies just sounds
They did
weird.
a
Probably a
book
fun
on
time though.
There's one called Cooties, which is set in a school.
Cootie.
Of course it is.
In fact, no. In some ways, we're talking about possession. If aliens possessed people like a hive mind, would they be zombies? Because I'm thinking of The Faculty.
What?
Mm,
What was in like get a ray and go?
Have you not seen The Faculty?
No.
It's brilliant. Brilliant film, that. Everyone watch The Faculty.
Whoa.
Watch it tonight.
A stranger from the outside.
Faculty is a good film.
Whoa.
Scout's Guide to Zombie Apocalypse. Has anyone seen that? If anyone's just joining us, we're running down dark humour sort of zombie films.
we're running down all the films I haven't seen. Apart from
Well, the
Corpse
last
Bride.
one-
There's still more
The last one
to
I've got
explore.
is about zombie beavers, and it's called Zombievers.
Mm, clever.
I'll tell you what, if Rich likes audiobooks,
I'd like to get the audiobooks actually. I'm more audiobook than.
well, I normally wait for a free trial. I've got the stand on audiobooks on Amazon. You wait for a free trial and then quit before the trial's over, but you get to keep your book. And then they go, after a year, they offer you it again and go, do you want to try it out
Faculty
again?
was the first DVD bought itself. Really?
What I was going to say,
Hey, Ollie, as well, by the way.
if Rich likes
Good to see you.
audiobooks, I'd recommend this to anyone, but I think it's quite a few discs. I've got it in a box upstairs. I should have got it out. World War Z, the film's really bad, but the book is really good, but it's almost made to be read as an audiobook or listened to as an audiobook, not read, because the book is actually a series of interviews after the war's happened of different people telling you about their experience in it. And it works much better than an audiobook where you got these different actors telling you the accounts of what they've done, rather than just watching Brad Pitt do a zombie film, and that was nothing like the book. But if you like audiobooks, I recommend World War Z, because it's quite long from what I remember. It's quite a few. I've got it on CD in a box set, but I assume you can get it digital. But that's really good. I'd recommend that. It's almost like listening to a podcast.
Go on then. What other?
They're all the funny
films?
ones.
Excuse me.
We've mentioned The Last of Us. What I will mention is Invitation. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
The world's worst audiobook. What I was going to say is
That's more like just an audio description.
in a lot of stuff like The Last of Us, and especially in Resident Evil 4, you'll notice at the end credits there are pictures of children in the village, but there are no child zombies. And I thought maybe they're not allowed to make a game where you're just gunning down children. But if you play a game called Days Gone, there are several bits in that where there are hordes of zombie children attacking you, and obviously your best bet is to gun them down. I'm not saying anything about that, but it's weird that that's a video game that lets you kill zombie children. So Days Gone, exclusively on PS4, if I remember rightly. But that is, I remember when that happened, when I got to the first bit that ever happened, I snuck into this building. And then I was like, what's that noise? I'm like, I'm going to get attacked. And there's like 2 or 3 like zombie children crawling towards you like Gollum. And I'm just like, whoa. I didn't think they were allowed to put zombie children in video games, but unless they've patched it, I doubt they have. Oh, Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare. Have you played that? I thought you might. No. Oh.
No. Just full of
I
disappointment.
think I demand a reaction video. If anyone else
Have you
wants
played
to
it?
demand a reaction video, 'cause I will happily take part.
Red Dead Redemption, Undead
I've
Nightmare.
watched it again, but I've not played it. I've
I've
watched
never
other people
watched
play
it.
it. I've watched other people play it, but I've not played it myself. So,
And
yeah.
before I get this quiz up, James, are zombies, or can zombies still be scary?
I think it depends what you do with them. Like as I said, like with The Last of Us, that does something very different with it in regards to like the look of it and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not sure with like how they because is that kind of like a viral infection that goes out?
Yeah, I feel like
or something?
The Last of Us, I know it's not real, but it kind of put rules in place that seemed realistic.
Yeah.
Like that could happen in real life.
And I guess that can make it more scary with it being more realistic. So yeah, so I guess it depends what they do with them. They keep trying to make it new and unique, and then that can make more unique ways of scaring in a way. But also then that can go the other way where it just becomes really silly as well. But yeah, so I think that's probably the way they can still be scary.
You know how people, I mentioned something once about vinegar on pizza and people never dropped it.
Me,
This is the thing that Gareth's mentioned once, and I'm never going to drop from now on.
That's the new that's the new pizza on vinegar. There we go. Thanks, Gareth.
That's his pizza on vinegar.
Sexy zombies are his pizza on vinegar. Okay, that's the new quote.
Right. So what we've got here.
Dead girl. Oh.
Get the other
I know that one.
It's
Is that the only one I know?
Probably. You know it, James.
Yeah.
So I've got images, and you got to tell me what series of film or TV or video games they're from.
So that would be Plants vs Zombies. So that's the only point I'm getting in this. There we go.
Oh no, Gareth got it wrong. Zombies versus Plants.
Oh,
Apparently, it's Rachel likes sexy zombies as well.
I was so close to saying Zombies versus Plants, but I thought, you know what? No, I'll go with Plants vs Zombies.
Okay. Oh, I know that one.
Yeah, I'm lost.
Resident Evil.
Do you know which one?
I'm gonna say 4, but it's actually 3, isn't it? Or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember I got that the
I know
remake when it
Immortals
came out.
again.
It came out during lockdown, and I got it on the day it came out, didn't I? And I played it in one sitting and streamed it so Luke could watch from Coaster Gen.
Yeah.
And I remember
Nemesis.
The way Resident Evil 3 works is this Nemesis creature pops up like every 40 minutes in some kind of cinematic way, and then will try to kill you. And it was starting to get less scary. I was just laughing because like, oh, for God's sake, like you're doing something in the game, and then suddenly you're fighting him on a rooftop, and you've got to drive a car in. It's just like Nemesis, yeah.
Is that Nemesis also a crab?
It's like a.
What do you think about
crab
the?
is
I'm probably going to talk about it next week.
Yeah,
It's a lounge episode next week.
Everybody as well, but.
What did you think about the look of the Nemesis monster?
Well, the thing is, with that kind of goes into my controversial opinions on the original, where I just thought the original Nemesis was fine, and
Yeah,
it
because his
lacked a lot
eyeballs
of
in his
theming.
mouth. How do you? If that monster's going to eat me and attack me, hence why we're putting it down. If it goes to eat me, I'm just going to attack its eye as I go get. But where's the throat? It's just
I mean, unless if that's not its mouth, maybe the tentacles and teeth around it are separate, maybe like the mouth's underneath or
I
something.
can imagine if someone asked me in one of their vlogs on opening day, I'll go, but the eyeball in the mouth, what's going on? They're going to feel like, what?
Yeah.
I'll get it on a t-shirt.
But yeah, but I think the design of it, I'm kind of preferring it in a way because I think it looks a lot better.
Oh, I like that they've done something new with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What do you think, James?
I know this one.
Is that Walking Dead?
Yeah, do you know her name?
No, not a clue.
Michonne. That was her. Was that not her husband and her son? They became zombies. She pulled their bottom jaws out so they can attack her, and then just. Yeah, apparently zombies don't attack her if she's near other zombies. So. Yeah. Twilight, close enough. If you talk to, I know he's shown it in a video, and he's shown it before he did the video, but Dan Leach from Ginger and Brown has got the Nemesis comic book that I think they released when the ride first opened. I wonder if they're going to republish that.
I do love. I think is it Keepsakes.
he did like a little video about the logo, saying that how it compares to the one from the first, like sort of. I'm going to say the first Nemesis.
Yeah.
But from the first one, obviously before it turned 21.
I'll tell you what I'd love.
That logo, the fact that they kept it, and then they just got the eye of the monster around the eye bit.
I think like a few little spikes on
Whoa.
the end as well.
Yeah, that's what I quite like.
I thought that was just a random circle, but I thought it looked cool because
No.
it was basically saying Nemesis Reborn, but it was circling the I and the S, so it was as if it was saying Nemesis is reborn. I thought that was the point. I didn't realise it was just an eyeball.
Yeah, it's the eye. Yeah.
I'm hoping. I'd really love them to get Coca-Cola to make the blackcurrant and licorice drink again that they made
That'd be so
when it first opened. I don't know what this is.
The handy zombie.
It's definitely
my
not
guess.
Titanic. That's all I'm going to say.
That's one they haven't done yet. Titanic.
Oh. I haven't even seen Titanic, and I get that reference.
I thought it's the car door. Isn't
Oh no.
Carriage.
Whatever it is. But yeah, it's been a while since I've seen it.
Oh yeah, everyone buy a book as well. It's pretty good.
Yeah, thank you. Honestly, really appreciate everyone buying one as well. Even I'm going to probably have a go at it at some point. We're doing the puzzle. Oh dear.
I'll tell you what. That advert they had a Nemesis. The sound it made when it roared sounded like one of the old sounds you'd have on the Pokemon Game Boy game when you go into battle with one, and it kind of makes a sound. That's what it reminded me of.
Are we going to catch the new Nemi creature in a Pokeball then?
Yeah, they'll do that as merch probably.
That'd be cute.
I put it in our last vlog though. You ever went in the shop for Curse last year? They've got those magnets that say Curse on. They've got a long one that's telling you the price of the stuff, and I'm like, I want to buy this one. It's got printed in, and they print it as a magnet, but
I don't know what this one would be.
Not a clue.
Do you want me to just reveal it?
Is it like Left 4 Dead?
Dawn of the Dead.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Definitely not Titanic.
I don't know if it was only when I saw it, and then people said Stranger Things vibes. I'm like, are they getting Stranger Things vibes because it's a monster with tentacles and it's red and black artwork there? There's nothing that stood out to me that made me think until people started saying it.
The red and the black remind me of the Stranger Things logo, but it doesn't actually remember anything to do with Stranger Things. Resident Evil 3, that was a guess. Oh.
It's got a VHS and DVD combi.
Yeah.
I've actually got one of them right next to me as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
Definitely not The Ring.
It's a video game. It's a video game.
Dead Art? No.
It's got Dead in the name.
Left 4 Dead.
Dead Island.
No, you're gonna kick yourself.
Dead or Alive. No.
Not going.
Don't know it. Anybody know in the comments? Just
Demogorgon.
give it a couple. Yeah. I don't think it looks nothing like the Demogorgon. Is it Colossus in the other country? I think that looks more like it.
Yeah, he's got it. Dead Rising.
Well, the main guy anyway. Oh, Dead Rising. Oh.
Is this the Red Dead Redemption?
Yeah. I'll give you that.
Okay.
Undead Nightmare.
Right.
Oh my
Is this
God.
to do with zombies?
It is if you're Gareth.
Zombieland.
No.
Oh, is this Shaun of the Dead? Is this one of the t-shirts? There we go.
Yeah.
And it's from that scene as well. There we go. That's how I know it.
Brilliant. Oh, that Zombie Island. I don't know. I'm just
Zombieland.
Zombieland.
I keep saying island.
That girl on the right is the girl in Santa Claus 3 who asks her at the start to tell the story.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, Parliament is full of zombies. We all know that.
Big Ben with zombies. The news with zombies. That'd be pretty cool to watch.
Not a Doctor Who,
No.
wasn't it?
No, I don't think so.
I don't know. House on the Haunted Hill. 28 days later.
Yeah.
Ah.
There's Mr. Oppenheimer.
Yeah, Cillian Murphy. Yeah.
I didn't even mention this today. This is a 2010 remake of a zombie film, but they're quite. It's like almost like Dawn of the Dead, but the zombies like run really quick and stuff. It's actually really good. I need to watch it again. I've got it on DVD.
No, I haven't got a clue.
I can't believe I didn't talk about this today. The Crazies.
No,
Crazy.
okay.
It's like a zombie infection, but it makes them
I
insane.
remember hearing about that.
It's actually really good. That.
Well, I never
Kinda
got
went
round
under
to
the radar.
watching it.
But
I was Cineworld past it back in the day.
I had a Cineworld pass till the card, the picture, and all the information would wipe off really easily if you rubbed it on anything. And the second time I asked for a replacement card, they went, "No, you've already used that. But you're going to have to pay for another one." So then I just cancelled after that. Just like, yeah, I'm not doing it anymore. And that's my relationship with Cineworld ended. Swarm vibes. It was out before the Swarm, 2010. So the Swarm copied.
May have got inspiration from.
I like the Swarms. I'd like them to make a Merlin verse where the Swarm is to do with this Nemesis creature being back, that the Swarm came and it's all related. That'd be really cool.
No,
That'd be cool because then people can yeah.
But I don't think
pick and choose what
one thing about just to talk about Rise before we wrap things up. Now I understand what Hyperion is, but I kept asking people, what is this? Because the concept art, if you remember, the track just looked like 2 strings of track. It didn't look like the track does now. And at the time I was like, what kind of ride is that based on what the track looked like in the concept art? It looks nothing like the concept art because it wasn't real track, and it was like 2 lines. I'm like, what is it fixed onto 2? It just looks like 2 wires going around it. I'll have to find that image next week. But and now I see it, I'm like, okay, I understand what it is. But at the time it was like, I've never seen track like that, and no one else was questioning it, and I was like, what's going on? But
yeah. Now there's more to it than just that. Yeah.
Oh, Universal Studios Bedford would be brilliant. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, if they did.
We went on Space Mate and Dave's show before Christmas.
Yeah.
We kind of had to a little bit because they had no grasp on the fact that it was quite funny that Bedford as a place is nothing like Orlando or Hollywood. So we had to kind of like get across a bit to them that how it was funny if it was going to be called Universal Studios Bedford.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Because obviously they didn't know Bedford the place because they're in America, so they thought it would just be as normal to us.
Yeah.
Well, no. But I don't know if there's anything you want to plug before we wrap it up.
Small branches will be right up there if you just saying.
Everyone's staying at the Small Branches house. Yeah.
Do you have a nest for us?
Yeah. I think to plug, I did a channel update, which is basically kind of like to end out last year in a way. I think I posted it like early this year. And then I've recorded a Minecraft video to start out this year. And I forgot to hit the record button on the gameplay, which means I'm having to work through piecing that back together myself. So that might take a bit of time. But then after that, I've got a few gaming things before the theme park season starts.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Cool.
Not yet, but there is a horror thing that's going to be coming as well, which does have a game with it, which is it's kind of like the same gameplay style as Five Nights at Freddy's, but it's also going to be like a YouTube series that I'll be reacting to. So that's going to be horror. So if anyone wants to watch that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Do you want to plug your photographs?
Just want to say I have a Love to Explore photo challenge. If you want to tag me in it, it's Stacy_L2E. And basically, there's only just one prompt each month, and the one for this month is food. So if you want to put it in, then it's just like a little shout out for channels or whoever, any on socials. Just as long as you tag me in, Stacy_L2E, and then I'll put it on my stories. But yeah, there you go. But yeah, thank you so much everyone for the contributions already. I've had a wonderful lady from the Quiet Place on there. I'm going to name drop a few. Coast to Cast UK, they've already done one. The Small Branches have already done one. I've got various other people as well as like Loopy Lou, I think it was, or Loopy. So she's another one as well.
LL
And then
Cool
there's some other
J.
people as well that are already tagging me in it, probably as we speak as well. So I will be putting them out as quick as I can. So yeah, but I appreciate it because it's absolutely awesome. But obviously you can tag as well our actual social, which is but obviously it might not go on the stories on there, but it's love2 WO Explore. But obviously if you want to tag me, I can then like share it and put it on my highlights. So yeah.
And then next week we're going to talk about Nemesis, I reckon. It's a lounge episode next week. The week after we might be trying, because I think it got like 8 or 9 votes, maybe more. We put a community thing up about if people want to watch along of a film once a month, because we did it at Christmas and it got 100% votes for yes. So we'll probably do that. We're talking to Joe to come on, but depends how much time he's got. He wants to come on.
We could even do like a mixture of 2 films and do a vote that way as well, couldn't we? And see
Could do, but I think they're going to make us watch Sexy Zombies if Gareth's voting. He'll upvote that. He'll make several accounts and upvote that for whatever it is. Yeah, we might have some videos up this weekend if we get them filmed. We've got trips and unboxings.
We've got loads of unboxings on the way.
We've got unboxings on the way, everyone,
unboxings.
and maybe some food videos.
But we'll have to do them in
we've realised the guinea pigs go nuts when we have plastic about, so...
Any kind of plastic, just anything, and they go, wee, and they'll not stop. So we'll probably have to locate a little bit in order to do it.
Does Stacey know the catchphrase?
Thanks. No, I don't. Thank you everyone for watching. Obviously, don't forget to give us a like as well. Share it with all your friends to subscribe as well. We are a lovely bunch. So we'll see you
in the review.
Because for now,
we're gone.
Bye.